I mean, after that, this
Oh
movie,
yeah, this is
this
a
movie's
downer.
like we bring this out on a tray with a fucking little silver lid on it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not that
Oh,
was
not
bad,
the
but it's just a
no.
different. It's like eating at Arby's and then eating at like a 5-star fucking Michelin restaurant. You know, or
So
something.
Yeah.
that may be part of. Maybe I should rewatch Trailer Park at some other point because I watched Candyman, and then I watched this movie.
Oh
So
Oh
yeah,
going
That's
from
a
gosh.
letdown.
Candyman like a
Yeah.
and then going to the first 50 minutes of this, I'm like,
yeah.
Jesus God.
Frank's right.
Uh,
That's like having your main course and then somebody goes, and now dessert, and they just hand you a wrapped Twinkie.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah. So this is we've already previously done the
Oh,
original
we did.
Candyman.
Mhm.
I thought you were gonna
Weren't you
say
there
we
for
did this
that?
one.
Were you not there
Yeah,
for the
no,
original?
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, you know what? I thought you were going to say we already did this one because I remember we were struggling to
Oh
remember if
no, no,
we did this one
no.
already.
Mm-mm.
I've
Okay.
watched this. I mean, we've all watched it before, I think, but I
Yeah.
just couldn't remember if we did it or not. It's been up in the discussion before.
Mhm.
But 2021, the Candyman reboot, or sequel, or whatever the fuck you want to. It's both, right? Like it's kind
Yeah,
of a
pretty
both.
Requel.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
reasonable.
Summary
Yeah.
for this film: a sequel to the horror film Candyman from 1992 that returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. Directed by Nia DaCosta, followed this up with 2023's The Marvels. I don't know what that is. That was
It's
just
a
your
com-
most.
it's a comic book
The
movie.
three Miss
Oh, okay.
Marvels.
Yeah.
Okay. Written by Jordan Peele, Win Rosenfeld, and Nia DaCosta. Uh, John, you picked this. Go ahead and kick it
Mm,
off.
all right. Yeah, so I didn't go to the theaters to see this, but I definitely bought it when it came out because I was highly interested. I love the original and the sequels. I like the sequels too. Tony Todd was awesome. Tony Todd's not the Candyman in this. So if you're going expecting Tony Todd, you're going to be
He's in there.
disappointed. He's in there, but he's not
Mhm.
like going around doing the Candyman stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Who did he play? What was his character's name? It was fuck. He's one of the
Who Tony?
victims, right?
yeah, Daniel Robitaille was his
There you
character.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the artist, and he liked
Yeah.
the white chick, and they got him. But I really like where this went. I love the characters that they used to branch it into a sequel. He
Mhm.
was the baby from the bonfire.
Really
You
cool.
know, his mom, she didn't even age. I feel like she did. She
She looked
looked
better. I
she looked
thought.
almost the same.
I thought you looked better. Maybe I like an older lady. Who knows?
Nah, she and
leave her alone, Frank.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
nothing, but
Poor
that is a
poor
thought I
lady.
had. I was like, is that the same? Is that the same woman? And then I,
Yeah.
I
Like,
look, I was like,
man,
oh,
she
it's
looks
Vanessa.
good, don't she?
Vanessa.
Yeah.
I said, well, I then comparing the pictures to what I was watching, I'm like, she does look better. But I find that with a lot of black ladies, they look better as they age. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
well, as
boy.
my wife says, black don't crack. So you're there you go.
There you
That's
Remember
go.
true.
that
That's
one.
just true.
That's just facts.
Yeah.
Just facts. But yeah, so Cabrini Green has been replaced by all the high-end luxury condos and stuff. The baby is now an artist, um, doing some things. He gets inspired and starts hearing about the Candyman legend, and he's unknowingly drawn and a part of it. He's drawn to and a part of it. Um, I really, the shadow paper puppets,
Really cool.
like, holy shit. That
So
wasn't
awesome.
CG. That wasn't CG. That was like, if it was, I mean, they made it look pretty real, like someone was moving paper.
We might have touched it up digitally, but I think that was just puppetry, right? Like
Yeah,
that was
because
just shadow puppets.
yeah, in the flashback of the dude that runs the laundromat, he's the kid doing those shadow puppets.
Right on.
His
Yeah.
sister summoned Candyman, and then well, you know what happened.
Better not
Uh,
say it too many times.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's a movie, but I don't tempt fate.
You got to be looking in a mirror, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
The kill in the girls' bathroom, amazing.
yep.
Awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. The story of how they expanded the Candyman legend of every victim like is a Candyman. You know what I mean? For their time. Like
Yeah.
it's a really awesome way to expand it. And it's like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't just have to be Tony Todd. You know, that excuses the need for one singular actor, and they could go everywhere. Like if they wanted to, they could do this to death, like Freddy, Jason, all that stuff. If they wanted to, they won't. They might make, I wouldn't be surprised, and I hope maybe they make another one that's maybe the Anthony is the Candyman. Maybe he just shows up like Tony Todd did, like in a flashback, which was awesome. The way that
Oh yeah.
he shifted the faces, like that was super cool. I don't know. Did they ever touch on Cabrini Green in the original, being where uh Daniel Robitaille was killed? Did they ever, was that
I
part of the
think
legend, or
so.
was it,
I think so.
I
was
don't
it?
think so. I think they
Okay.
talked about and again it's I didn't get to watch I should have watched the other one too. But I think in the original, wasn't it, it was just his story, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But
yeah.
it didn't have anything to do with him actually
I
like
don't think they dug into that part of it
okay.
anyways. Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
think it was just like, why is this guy's ghost story so prevalent? But they didn't tell the backstory as to that it had been prevalent before. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's something they probably added, which is a fine addition. To
Yeah,
add to that guy's exposition about the stain on the place, you know.
right.
Um, it was like just seeing like the abuse and like the stories, even in Shadow Puppets, it was a bummer what people went through and how their legend lives and things like that. And the whole Say My Name project or Say His Name, I can't remember what it was. Um, so that ties into it too. Like it was a really good movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really dug it a lot. It's creepy. The music, they even used some of the original theme music. There was one, I don't remember if I wrote it down. Something about the music. It's like it was like a specific piece. I can't remember. Anyways, all right, next. Sorry.
I watched this on.
um
Oh, you want to go, Ray? Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you go. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I no, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought
You
you were
guys
No,
just
muted.
started at the same time. It's cool.
Yeah, so yeah. All right.
it's not matter.
Mine will be pretty quick because I
Mine's so
love this
long. Mine's
movie.
very long. I got like
I didn't see this either in the theater. I didn't. What?
what? I
Did
said
I
mine's
mess
long.
up?
I was just joking
Oh,
around.
Yeah, like you
yeah.
were talking and laughing.
Yeah, I thought I messed up. I'm sorry.
No,
All
you're
right,
good. You're good.
all right. So,
Quit
anyways, I didn't
fucking
see
up,
this.
Randy.
All right, take two. I didn't see this in the theater either. Uh, I I I didn't even know it had come out on digital until I was looking, to rent a movie one night, and it was on digital. This is back when it came out in 2021, so that into that year, and I watched it. I had just watched the original one, and one of the sequels. I think the actual part two, and this one was a better sequel than the sequels. Right?
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
they
Um,
leave? Do they like? I haven't seen those really. Do they incorporate anything from those other two movies into
part
this at all?
No, no,
No,
no,
not like the
no.
magic mirror, like that holds
Yeah,
his soul. None of that stuff. This is way more based in like reality with a supernatural twist.
yeah,
The sequels kind of get out there a little bit. You know how direct to video sequels are want
Yeah.
to do.
right.
So
Yeah. So, but again, John touched on a lot of things I loved was the puppetry. I mean, that shit just looked amazing. I was watching it and I'm like, still, this is freaking crazy. How awesome! Like I could just watch a 2 hour movie of that kind of stuff. That was nuts to me. Guillermo del Toro did that in Hellboy 2, and even that didn't look as good in my opinion as this did. So yeah. Um, I love the way it was shot. The cinematography. Chicago looks amazing in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, and I love there's little nuances too, like just a shot of the bees here and there, letting you know that shit's still there. Things have been
He's
there
around.
this whole time. You can make it look pretty, but there's this little evil still there. That's the way I felt about it, anyways. I love the dude from Euphoria. That's the guy that's telling him the story.
Oh, the girlfriend's brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, no, the guy in the laundromat, the older guy.
Oh, him. Oh,
Yeah,
never watched Euphoria. I was just taking a
he's
guess.
so damn good in everything I see him in, and he was great in this. Like his turn at the end when he's like jamming the fucking thing in his arm, and just telling her like his basic plan that he had for this. That I love that overall story was like basically like this guy needs to come back to teach these people a lesson. Like and the police, and everybody that still continues to do this shit needs to learn a lesson. And that's why that was to teach him a lesson, right? I just love that. I thought the acting, everybody in this movie is great. I wrote down all these. I usually have a pros and cons. I didn't have any cons. I was sitting here at the end of this movie like, is this a perfect sequel? To me, it is. I think I've rarely seen a sequel to a horror film that I thought was better than the original, and I think this one is better than the original. And I love the original, so I gave it a 10 out of 10. I don't you guys. I've been doing this a while with you. I rarely do that, but I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I love the music. I love the acting. I thought the story was just amazingly well done. The cinematography was great. So many cool that part at the end, where he's floating. How fucking cool is that to have as your end? What the hell?
Yeah.
Movies don't take risks like that usually in horror nowadays, and it did, and I thought it was amazing. So I gave it a perfect score. I'm gonna buy this one and the other one on 4K. So
sweet.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I can say about it that is it's not even bad. It's just why I think it's not as good as the original. That Philip Glass score, man, is like, first of all, the fact that they kind of tricked him into getting he didn't know what he was doing when he scored, gave that music to him. Really, he didn't know what kind of movie he was providing it for. And I don't think he would have done it if he knew what it was going to be, but it works so magically with that first film. And this soundtrack's good. It's got its own thing. But I almost thought I bought this a long time ago. It was shortly after it came out, and it was like, it's on DVD, but it was at Dollar General. I just impulse bought it. I had never even seen it. I was like, what the fuck is that doing here? And it was like $15 or something. I'm like, all right, well, I impulse buy. And so I just bought it. And I remember when I put it in, the beginning of this, all the title cards are like mirrored, like reversed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Did
they get a fucking bootleg? Is that why Dollar General had this movie so quick? And then watching it,
slam it on the counter.
Yeah.
But then it says Cabrini Green or whatever, and it's the correct way. I'm like, oh, they're doing that shit they do all the time. So, but
that shit they do.
I love the opening credits. Like, it's the reverse of what the original was. The original was a top-down shot of Chicago. This time it's up, so you're looking up at the buildings and underneath the bridges and stuff. So it's a mirror in that way. But it's got like a lot of reflecting vibes to that movie. I love how fucking stupid rich these people are. Like, it's just like the original. She had money for no fucking reason. Like, she just lived in that really nice place. I guess she was with that professor or whatever.
Right.
But they seem to be living in some crazy means, and these people are living in ridiculous apartments. And they're having this whole conversation at the beginning that is like only jokes that maybe rich people would get. There's a Moscato in the fridge if that's more your taste. Ha 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 ha. What the
That's a
fuck's wrong with
dessert wine.
Moscato? It's a
That's a
dessert
dessert
wine?
wine.
Okay, fun. Uh, but you're right that
Hey,
animation,
fun.
the puppetry shit is a real highlight. It really gives it its own thing. Um, yeah, yeah, and that's the thing about the first one that mirrors this one too. She had literally all the time in the world to just follow Candyman's trail around. So does he. He has no fucking agenda in life except for, well, he's got to figure out this Candyman shit and paint a picture. And
He's
who's
an artist,
funding this?
Frank.
Who's funding this fucking apartment?
His art sales
the
and that
sale of the
girl.
art. Yeah, the girl is
Yeah.
the
She didn't even
artist
like
for
his art.
that.
He's not selling that much fucking art.
Well, they did
Yeah,
before.
Yeah,
They
well,
did
prove it.
before.
Prove
he
it
was
to
a
me.
pretty big. He was a
It
pretty
was
big deal. Well,
explained.
they say it. He's a pretty big deal in the art world, but he's
Yeah.
had a dry spell where he hasn't
Okay.
done anything.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I was just fucking with it.
No.
But yeah, the my favorite scene in the movie is the bathroom scene, mainly because I love that when the girl's compact hits the ground and then you see the reflection of Candyman like
Yeah.
killing people. Just really well done.
Mhm.
The way the
Uh,
blood flows in too is really cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool
I
shot
thought
all
I
around.
thought a lot of just the shots were framed in such a way that you could take many stills of like just a dude standing in a hallway, take a still of it and frame that shit because it was so like much like a photograph or like a piece of art or
Mhm.
something like that. Um, yeah, I really loved the way they brought the story. They connected it with the baby and the mom and all this stuff,
Mhm.
and they didn't just erase it and whatever. But I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It really
Jason.
is.
Yeah, so we got a supernatural horror, and I didn't see this in theaters. I blind bought this as soon as it came out on 4K, and this was only my second time watching. I haven't watched it since then. I like the Candyman franchise. I like the lore of the Candyman. I love the original, and this is a direct sequel to that. Beautifully shot. All the kills are pretty good. Some are even great. Um, but I'll tell you why this isn't the perfect movie. The CG in this is horrible. At some points it completely took me out of the movie. It's jolting. Why they chose to do that, and not especially as little as we actually see of Candyman, like in the reflections and stuff, or why it seemed like it should have been cheaper just to fucking
Put a
blur
prosthetic.
a human being out. Like
Mhm.
why they chose CG, I don't understand. Really, the only CG I actually didn't mind was what John was talking about at the end, where the bees are swarming, and it changes to Tony Todd's face, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, at last. Yeah.
that 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 looked good, but other than that, every time I saw him, I was like, man, this looks like a video game. Like even the lighting that they were putting that they had on the figure or whatever we're gonna call on Candyman looks like it was straight out of a video game. I don't know why they did that. That's the only gripe I have with this movie. I love the storytelling, how they build everything up. Uh, I've like pretty much everything Jordan Peele is doing. I think he's can't say he's a young up and comer because he's got a freaking a list of great movies out
Oh
already.
yeah.
But no, this is
Yeah.
a solid movie.
Up in here.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot. I can't say how great this movie looks. Yeah, I give it an 8.
Right on.
Nice.
Right on.